Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. Before we fully jump on into this video, I want to ask all you XRP holders out there a significant question. And that question is, what do you believe XRP would be trading at right now if it wasn't for the SEC? And an even better question is, where do you think XRP would have topped out on in 2021 if it wasn't for the SEC? Comment down below what you believe, and also hit that like button if you guys have been supporting XRP during this entire lawsuit. With that being said, let's just dive in, and let's start off with the overall prices of crypto right now. I said it probably about a month now ago or so. I said, take a screenshot of all of these assets in the top 25 and come back, a couple months later, maybe even a year later, and see where the value is. Because we are starting to see a lot of altcoins kind of breaking out. We're starting to see altcoins kind of break down a little bit right now if we go to like the negative cash flow here. So a few that I've been looking at is like HBAR and Casper. They're the ones that are mainly having this pullback. Casper still very, very cheap, by the way. I've been focused on a lot of these assets, focused on getting them, even lower than where they are at now, and continuously averaging in because we know what happens, going forward on. We will eventually get to the bull run. I know a lot of people are saying that this is the start of the bull run, that we're going to see new all-time highs. And am I gonna say that that's not what we're gonna see? No, I'm just saying like I'm still looking to buy and accumulate as much as possible before we get to the point of like, okay, yep, it's too late to accumulate now. Because again, nobody wants to buy high, but one thing that I have been focused on as well when I do look at price is I look at the value of XRP, and I try to like come back to where the value would be if there was no SEC, because right now currently we are trading at the same levels that we were at back in like May of 2019, back in the price of 2018. I mean, these are prices that we've seen going all the way back to 2017 and even late and early 2017. So think about how undervalued XRP is now 4 years later, 5 years later, even 6 years later. And in my opinion, a lot of it does stem from what the SEC has done. I mean, like, this was the perfect time frame to go after XRP because it was starting to have a massive run up. So when we really kind of focus on what's happening around this case, like, yeah, sure, as an XRP holder, I'm very upset. But what about all those individuals out there that don't even, care about XRP? What about all those individuals out there that don't even, know who Ripple is? Like, I even said it over on Twitter. I said, like, if you haven't been supporting Ripple in the fight for the entire crypto industry against the SEC, you are betting against this entire industry. The last few weeks and the last few months as well from the SEC, the motives from the SEC have been extremely embarrassing. And I even said that here. But I also said XRP holder or not, no matter who you are, no matter if you believe in XRP, no matter if you don't believe in XRP, you should 100% be in support of what Ripple is doing here. Because this case is far bigger than just regulatory clarity for XRP, of course. Now, I do have this tweet from Johnny Deaton. Now, it goes in depth on a few things. He goes in depth on like the library case and stuff like that. I don't want to talk too much about the library case. We've already addressed it in the past. What I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about, though, is regulation. So we do see from Johnny Deaton that the United States is being left behind, full stop. Crypto regulation is not coming, or at least anytime soon. We do see, I've seen some very smart people say things like, when we get regulation soon. I hate to be a Debbie Downer about politics in the US, but I don't see sensible crypto regulation being passed into law anytime soon. And, I do agree with this, right? Like, we could be out of this lawsuit in this year, but is it going to change anything? No. It's not going to bring regulation into crypto. It's not going to do anything around crypto. The thing about crypto, and the thing that I've always said about, regulations, is at some point in time, we will see a mass wipeout event. That mass wipeout event will be regulations, and it's going to reshape the entire landscape of crypto. I'm going to go in depth on it here in a second, but One thing that I will say about regulations is that we need a global harmonization approach to crypto regulation, meaning everyone needs to be on par with what is happening around crypto regulation, and that's going to take a lot of time to go into place. So we do see, I believe the first or second quarter of 2025 is likely the earliest it could get done, and I may be being overly optimistic with that time estimate. The market will continue to receive guidance only through judicial results from the SEC's regulation by enforcement policy. So for just everyone out there that doesn't know what this means, basically, in other words, guidance will come from federal district court decisions like the Library case, Ripple case, the Dragon Chain case, etc. So yeah, I mean, like when we really kind of look at this, I do believe that we all need to come together and fight back against the SEC and what the SEC is doing. The United States is 100% falling behind. We've addressed this many, many times. Now, we have this video here. This is actually a minister for digital and financial services for the government of Gibraltar. This is Albert Izola, and we do see that he's speaking on the Ripple case. Listen closely to this. This is in response to the first or second quarter estimate from Johnny Deaton of 2025. It could happen much later, by the way. We don't know when, but listen closely to this.
For me, this event that you're hosting, Olga, this morning is about smart regulation, and the United States is teaching us exactly how not to do it. We still have a piece of legislation from 1946 which determines what a security is, and we're calling that interpretation and adapting it to a digital asset. You've got to be bonkers if you think that sort of framework is going to give any firm and any business any degree of certainty or security as to how they can manage their businesses. And therefore, that's why this event is focusing on smart regulation, because I believe that the US takes the view that when something is big enough, then it's going to move in and do things to it, which nobody knows where they're going to come from, why they're going to come for it. And the whole thinking behind the regulatory action, in my view, should be when you're breaching something. And I don't see that in the United States. And so I think the sooner that they get to grips with actually deciding who's going to regulate this space, how they're going to regulate this space, and why they're going to regulate this space, the whole blockchain space and the whole crypto area will dramatically grow as a result of that certainty, because that's what firms are crying out for. So when firms come to Gibraltar, they want to know that they're coming here for certainty. You've got a legal framework, you know what you have to do, you know which hoops you have to jump through, you know what you have to do to stay on the right side of the law. That is a framework that gives people the certainty to be able to confidently invest and grow their businesses. And so the Ripple case, the Telegram case, and unfortunately there'll probably be a few more firms very worried looking over their shoulders as to if they're going to get the call or not, for me stems from this lack of regulation. And that is what, I pull the little hair I got left at, worrying about why we are in this position and why the US doesn't do what it should do, which is lead.
And I completely agree with them. Honestly, when we really kind of look at what is happening around this U.S. case, applying 1940s laws to digital entities and this new digital industry that has grown from, peanuts to $3 trillion in a global market cap, it would be outrageous to compare it to a 1940s law. So again, like I completely agree with this video. I completely agree with his stance on what the US is doing, and it really does open your eyes to what is really happening. Now, also with this, I want you guys to realize that things are being put in place, but it's very interesting on who those major players are. For example, we do see that the CFTC and the SEC planned with the ETH gang, right? ETH got an SEC free pass. The CFTC and the SEC planned with FTX. FTX was a fraud. Ripple gets sued by the SEC. The SEC leaves Stellar Org alone. Stellar now plans with the CFTC. Red flags everywhere. So yeah, if you guys missed it, I actually included this in my XLM video from the other day. Now there's no competition on my side when I look at XLM and XRP. I actually hold both of them, and I do hold a significant bag of both of them. I'm in support of both projects, but I do think that this was a little bit odd to see with Stellar really kind of working with the CFTC, because if you guys remember back in the summertime, we remember that CFTC Commissioner Pam was actually meeting with Brad Garlinghouse over in the UK, which I thought was very interesting. So I do question a lot of what's happening right now. We don't know what's going on with Ripple. We don't know what's going on with Stellar in this in this sort of aspect because, again, we don't know what's truly happening behind closed doors. All we can do is speculate and really kind of come up with the assumption that, is Ripple just getting held back? Is Ripple just kind of being on pause in the US so that these, big banking incumbents can just continue to grasp a large portion of those fees within the traditional world? We don't know, right? We don't know. Um, but one thing that I will mention, and going back to that initial statement that I had, are we going to see a mass wipeout event around crypto? Because although, yeah, Stellar is meeting with the CFTC here, we know that Brad Garlinghouse just recently joined the European Commissioners, Mered McGuinness, as well as the UAE's Omar Sultan Al Alama, the Netherlands Clash Knott, and also Bloomberg's Stacey Marie Ishmael at the World Economic Forum 2023 to discuss finding the right balance for crypto. And we know that he was discussing a lot of plans around, again, regulatory approaches, what's happening with crypto. And by the way, I do apologize if I did butcher any of these names, because, again, I always kind of butcher these names, so I do apologize. But nonetheless, he was meeting with some of the leaders behind regulations around crypto, as well as talking about, we need to have that balanced approach. We need that harmonization approach to crypto regulation if we are going to see crypto continue to blossom and continue to really just spearhead innovation around payments and finance. Now, with this, right, we really kind of look at what Brad said back in 2019 as well. I honestly believe that Brad knew back in 2019 that we will have this major fight. I mean, it was clear. I mean, if you think about it, right, when we take an approach to crypto, crypto is becoming the core principle behind almost every single major industry. So if we're gonna have that realized in, we're gonna have to see hard regulations that do go after the bad actors. We do see over here from Eric Cobalt XRP. He posted this when Brad said this in 2019. There were only 3,000 different cryptocurrencies. So he insinuated around 30%, or sorry, 31% would survive. So 30 projects out of 3,000 would survive. Now we have like about 22,000 plus projects, right? And we do see Brad Garlinghouse says 99% of cryptocurrencies will probably go to zero. This will be that mass wipeout event. Now, what will happen? When will this happen? We don't know, right? Because the regulatory approach, like crypto regulation, proper regulation, is what's going to have this massive wipeout event around crypto. Because when we go over here to the coin market cap, there's 22,334 projects. You could go on here any day to, like, for example, like recently added, and look at some of these projects that are being listed, like this, Dollar Moon. Like this is a project that just got listed. There's zero circulating supply. Max supply is 200 million. You can go to the wallet, see who holds these. These are coins that are launching that are complete garbage, that have no utility, and you're seeing this all the time. You're seeing it happen 24/7 around this market. I mean, you could go over here and just look at some of these projects and just kind of have a laugh because a lot of what we are seeing in this market is scams. As much as I do love crypto, and I really do love this industry, there is a lot of bad actors around this market. That's why you always got to stay vigilant. That's why I always say, like, you need to make sure that you are paying attention to everything that you are clicking, everything that you are doing, because again, you never know when something is going to, be like just recently there was a wallet problem that was going around where if you clicked on the token in your wallet, it would just completely wipe it. So there's a lot of things happening around this market that, we need regulations around. We need proper regulations. But the question is, what kind of regulations are we going to get if there's not going to be leaders around the space a part of it? That's why I love to see these meetings. Although, like, yeah, Stellar's meeting with the CFTC, I do believe that, Stellar and the individuals from Stellar have a pretty good approach to crypto, and I think that they're very on par with what Ripple is doing as well. So I do believe that there could be good, proper, harmonized approaches to crypto regulation, but I am also worried that we will see regulation where it kind of stifles growth around this industry, and I think that it will also stifle retail's approach to this industry as well, because just recently I talked about the possibility of Ripple, or not Ripple, retail being locked out. And that could be a possibility if we have a pretty bad approach to crypto regulation. So we're hopeful that there is going to be good regulations. I do think that this will be the mass wipeout event, very similar to like the dot-com bubble. Listen, we've seen this happen in history before. The dot-com bubble is a perfect example of legitimate players going forward, legitimate players achieving incredible growth, incredible, things. And we start to see those billion-dollar companies that were in the backyard in the shed, getting created and having $1 billion valuation on them go to zero. And I think that we're going to see that happen as well with a lot of these meme tokens, with a lot of these projects that don't offer any utility. We're going to see them go to zero. And you could just imagine how much market cap is tied to some of these projects. I mean, we look at Dogecoin and we look at Shiba Inu and we kind of laugh at them, but they hold up a massive amount, like over $18 billion of this market, which is, I know to some people, not a lot, but when you actually take a look at it, how many of those tokens really exist? There's a lot of them. And even in the top 100, I mean, I could pick out like probably 10 of these projects that would go to zero in the top 100. So just imagine how much market cap you'll see just completely get wiped out of crypto. And that day is coming. We don't know when. Johnny Deaton is expecting roughly 2025. It could happen 2025 to 2030. We don't know, right? A global harmonized crypto approach to regulations is going to take some time. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because I'm more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.